welcome back. Today we are just going to do a little summary of what you've been learning in the past 3 modules, or parts of this module number 5 in communication. So if you recall, in the first introduction part, we learned about the 3 main components in communicating. At the very end of the video, right, there's 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. Do you remember what they are? If you don't, go back and check. We have body language, tone of voice, and less than 10% are words. That's right. So body language is huge, 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 right? It is a significant part of communication. So the words we actually speak, they account for less than 10% of the message that we're trying to give. So pay attention to your body language at least as much as your message when you communicate, if not more, right? So you thought making a speech was hard, now practice doing body language with it. But you can use your body and facial expressions in your delivery because together they make a powerful combination. Actually, when I was younger, many people told me, ha, 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 you have funny facial expressions. And I guess I learned to develop those and use those to my advantage working with children a lot, right? As I started doing dramatic little faces. And maybe you've noticed that too, but that works for me, and I don't claim to be a great communicator by any means, but there's always little things that we can do. So yeah, facial expression, right? And this includes when you're listening. If you're sitting in class like this or like this, right, you're communicating something, as we talked about in other videos. Now, there is a proverb from Russia that says, once a word goes out of your mouth, you can never swallow it again. Unless you're filming it on your phone, and then you can just delete your phone. Your phone video. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But we're going to stick to the face-to-face conversation. Okay, you can't swallow it. So let's talk about those words and ways we are to communicate. The 3 do's and don'ts. Win their hearts, right? Not their heads. All right, tell them about you, show your weaknesses, personal things. Number 2, be a chameleon. Not a literal chameleon, just learn to adapt to your audience. And number 3, have a conversation, not a monologue. I'm only talking to myself, you're only hit. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, and the last 3, please don't, the don'ts of communication. Do you remember what they are? Number 1, what is it? And number 2? Number 3? Okay, in case you didn't get those, then you should go back to the other video, but we'll review them right here too. Drop the lingo, right? Forget talking in crazy high words that nobody understands, right? Don't ramble like me. Typical women, nothing against women. I'm a woman. We ramble a lot. It's just part of being human, right? Don't ramble too much unless you're trying to practice your English. Then ramble away, okay? But never blame. Don't blame others. Leaders don't blame, right? They take the blame upon themselves. And just like a good true Canadian, they say, sorry. All right? Okay, so those are the 6 tips for communication. Now just remember, a great talker does not mean great communicator. They're not the same. All right, someone might be talking a lot, rambling, but they're not actually communicating in a positive way. They are communicating because we're always communicating, but it's not necessarily positive. Now, some things great communicators are, great listeners. They are astute in their observations, right? They notice, they gauge. How is that person listening to me? What faces are they making? How should I change and adapt to them, right? They're very chameleon-ish. And like, yeah, they're skilled at reading people and then adapting to their message for each person. Basically, the bottom line, communication is about helping others by meeting their needs, understanding their concerns, and adding value. Adding value to their world. Okay, so just keep this in mind for when you want to communicate. These 6 things, think about them in the classroom, again, like we did in the other videos, right? In the classroom, how could you win a student's heart or the student's heart, right? How could you be a chameleon? What about having a conversation and not a monologue? What are some practical examples, ways you could do to practice this that you think might happen in the future? Okay, and what about these ones, these don'ts? Think of some examples, stories, make them up, right? About things where people are making these mistakes and how they should be changed, right? You're probably going to be like, oh, I know a teacher who's always rambling and she really just needs to. And yeah, you're right, she does. So that's the end of this. Go back, review everything, and I'll see you in the next module.